Welcome to Seriously Uncork Yourself. I am your host, Lynn Kuhn, and this is a podcast that brings to you a firsthand look at what it seriously means to meet people where they are in their life. Enjoy the experience from illusions to reality. Find out what it is to restore to high performance, renew your freedoms, and rejuvenate playfulness. I can't wait to share with you my experience and the experiences of many others in hopes that you feel inspired to renew yourself and live your best life. Thanks for listening. Now let's get started. Hi everyone, I am your host Lynn Kuhn. Today I am so thrilled to have Janet Marie Stanley as my special guest. Janet is a transformational energy weaver, coach, and artist. She has an honors degree from the University of Guelph. Did I say that right? Guelph. Yeah. And is a graduate for the Four Winds Society's Healing and Light Body program. Janet is the host of Beauty and Balance, a foundation for weaving voices of peace, and an online gathering for peacemakers. I'm so excited to have you today. How are you, Janet?
Oh, I'm terrific, and I'm excited and happy to be here with you, Lynn. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much. And to get started, if you would please, I would love for you to tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself and also your journey from how you went from before you started all of this to now. Like, what did you do? Like, what was that journey like?
Okay,
too low.
I'll try to do the Cole's Notes version because I am in my 60s, so that's a long story. But basically, I come from a really big family, so I learned a lot about life in, kind of crowded and cozy circumstances. My dad died when I was only 15, so that sort of changed the trajectory of my life. Mm. And I ended up through social work. I started in social work, very interested in people, interested in kind of, I was a hippy-dippy, tree-hugging, wanted to hug the world into being a better place. Mm-hmm. And ended up in corporate marketing of all places, which is quite a different environment. And I spent 20 years there. And I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of things about creativity. It was also a fairly crowded and sometimes cozy environment to learn in. Mm-hmm. And I found myself as I got to my 40s really wanting to change, to be more connected to what I was doing and to be less involved or less focused on creating profit, top and bottom line profits, and more about things that felt more meaningful to me. Mm-hmm. So I left the corporate treadmill, took the big leap off the tower, and found myself, ironically, and I had no real premonition that was coming. I thought I might be a writer, but I ended up at art school at the University of Guelph, and you did pronounce it right. Okay. So I ended up in becoming an abstract painter, and a very expressive abstract painter. I think I just had a lot of things to say that I hadn't been finding a voice for in the corporate environment. So I did that, and I found that it was a very rigorous and interesting place to be immersed. I got a really good education and learned that what I'm fascinated the most with, and have been really ever since, is transformation. Absolutely. Things changing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with that, what are your thoughts on transformation? What can you share with our viewers about the transformation and your experience and how simplicity would come evolved with all the transformation with your art, or just with the transformation also with the other projects that you are doing also?
Sure. Mm-hmm. At first glimpse, I don't think that transformation seems even remotely connected to simplicity, does it? It feels almost like at opposite ends.
Right. Yeah.
But the truth is, as you learn to unpack transformation, it's really about creation energy. Mm-hmm. It's really about bringing into form something new, some kind of new life, whether it's new ways of seeing, new ways of being, new ways of expressing an idea. And to do that really well, which I'm not sure I even have got to yet, is you really need to hone down your ideas and get to the core of it, get to the essence, which is where I think simplicity really lives.
Right.
To simplify the idea down to a way that it can be expressed with the least extra. Now, anyone who's looked at my art will know that I am a more is more girl, not a less is more. So I tend to really fill the canvas, but I am truly, truly interested in honing the ideas down to their simplest form. And that's where I feel like all of the paths connect.
I love that. And so with what you're doing with your foundation, because you host Beauty and Balance, and then I'm interested in the weaving of the voices of peace. Could you explain to us what all that is? Because I don't know.
Sure. As I began to exhibit my work, and the next piece that happened was the work really led me to studying shamanism.
Okay.
Indigenous ways of knowing and spirituality. So that's how I ended up at the Four Winds Healing the Light Body School. And the two are very entwined because the paintings are what showed me the way to the shamanic path, and the shamanic path shows me the way to the painting. So it's very circular.
Yeah.
Now I forgot your question.
So how did the Beauty and Balance all come about? So yeah. So
okay. Yeah. So as I started to put my work on a platform online, as we all do eventually, I wanted to weave the paths together of art and healing. And I really had to spend some time simplifying and thinking that through and honing so that I could understand. And what became clear over time is that the place that you access healing energy, or healing arts energy, if you will, and creative arts energy is exactly the same place.
Okay.
And it's a place that I think of as weaving three things together: beauty, balance, and peace. Beauty being the artistic expression, balance being the healing arts expression, and peace coming out of bringing those two together.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. And I love that. Okay. So another question that I would like, before I go on to my major three questions that I ask everyone, with balance, okay, because that's part of the Simplicity Summit, is to create balance, and to, and brilliance. So when you're creating balance, and I love the answers, because I don't think I've had any two people answer it exactly the same. Everybody sees it a little bit different, but I feel that for our viewers, I think it's really good to take in the different viewpoints and see. So would your explanation of balance be in your life?
Well, balance is an interesting concept, because sometimes we can think of balance as complete harmony, or and really one of the things I've been integrating this year that was kind of a new idea is that when you have absolute perfect balance, there is no growth. It's stillness, and we need some stillness, but we also, most of us, truly want to be growing and evolving into the best people we can be. So we need to have a balance of both stillness and movement. And so it includes and embraces many ways of being. When we get out of balance, as if we have all that masculine energy of do, get it done, build, or we have too much stillness so that we become almost lethargic or passive. Neither one is completely healthy if it's all the time. But if we can have, I think of it almost as the yogic way, inhale, exhale.
Right.
Give out, receive, produce, take in, be inspired. And Julia Cameron really influenced me when I was going back to art school. And she really has this beautiful practice called the artist date. And she recommends that everyone go on an artist date once a week. And the rules, if I remember them correctly, it's going back over 20 years now, but are there can't be an agenda. You know, you can't go and squeeze in your artist date between the groceries and gassing up the car. You have to go just to be a child again, to see with beginner eyes, to seek out beauty and seek out inspiration and allow yourself to be filled, to refill the well. And when we do that, we achieve some kind of balance. Then we can come back to the canvas or the writing table and produce some more.
I love that. That is so absolutely true. Oh, thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so now with all that said, and my first question is to do with the brand new entrepreneur. How do you feel that the brand new entrepreneur could simplify it could be their style, it could be their life, it could be what they're doing. I mean, any of that to begin whatever avenue that they decide to go into. What would your suggestion be if you had, and you could take that entrepreneur, that brand new one, and do, anything that you could do, to tell them to go forward? What would that be for you?
Well, that was me not so long ago, so I can put myself in those shoes.
Absolutely, me too.
And even us more, as we become a little bit more seasoned entrepreneurs, we're always changing. So it's always kind of new, isn't it?
It is.
As our focus changes, or the skills we want to bring to the table up level, maybe. And what I would tell myself 20 years ago is to spend more time getting clear about what I have to say. And who it's for, and not jump so fast into the doing or producing. That things will go a lot easier for me if I get clearer on those messages. And what I'm thinking about lately, which is new, I don't know if it simplifies things, but it's important, is becoming less concerned with what I want to say, which is hard for women because so often we haven't been given or we haven't felt like we had a voice. So we arrive in our whenever with a lot to say, really kind of spewing. I did anyway. But so we need to go through that stage of saying whatever we need to say. But then it's important to align with what it is that wants to come through you. Which is different sometimes than what we want to say. And so figuring out, or not even figuring it out isn't the word, it's feeling into it and surrendering into what it is that wants to be said and born through you, and then aligning with that. And then everything, I think, gets a lot easier and more simplified.
And puts into place. So, so the next question I have for you is, so that's with somebody starting. What about if you were talking now to another person that you would consider the expert? You would consider somebody maybe even where you're at right now compared to that brand new person. What would you tell them that they would need to do to help them to progress where they are at right now in their lives?
That's also a pretty good question, because what I have noticed in working with healing arts professionals and artists who are often quite expert in what they offer. They really are. They got it made in terms of knowing how to address, if they're a healing arts person, they know how to shift things. They know how to help someone get in touch with their inner child or their old story and release it. If they're an artist, they know how to produce beautiful art. Most of them, well, that's not really fair, but many of them don't know how to promote themselves. Right? So it's around, again, it kind of comes back to that original message, getting clear on what it is you have to offer and what you have to say and who it's for, and honing in, not being afraid to hone in. Sometimes we don't want to leave anybody out, so we're you know, who do you serve? Well, everybody, women everywhere. And the truth of it is probably not quite.
No.
You know, it's more, for me, I got really clear, and it took me a long time. It didn't come to me easily at all. I wasn't a very good mentor to myself. I could tell other people what to do better than I could tell myself what to do. But was to learn that for me, I work what I call upstream. I work with people who work with people generally. So I work, and they're very usually quite, they've done a lot of their own personal work. They're spiritually mature. They are usually at a place where they're really wanting to up level or take it to the next level. That's who I'm here to serve. And it's taken me a decade to figure that out. But now things are coming together in a much more, what I call ease and grace. You know, because I'm aligning with what it is I feel like I'm aligning with. And I'm sure it's a journey that will just keep going with what it is that I came here to do and to the people whom I'm best here to serve, which isn't everybody.
Right. And I think that even for myself, that's a huge, can I say, undertaking in itself, possibly, because I feel the same way, or have felt the same way. Well, when people would say, well, Lynn, do you have like a specific niche or whatever, whichever way you want to pronounce that, right? And I'm just like, well, no, I would say. And it's the same thing with me. It's taken me quite a while to realize who I truly want to work with. And so, yeah, it's not an overnight decision. But then again, maybe it is for somebody. Maybe somebody knows right away what they want to do. That wasn't me. It was a journey. It was a long journey. And so, you know, and then working with family, and as yourself, you know, you had to work outside the home, and I still am working outside the home, and then also working my coaching business. But how do you do it all? How do you balance that with family? And that's what I'm asking you. How do you do that? How do you balance everything with your family? And I really, really love what you said though about going out and not having an agenda. I think that is so important. I love that. But then again, you know, you got the everyday thing going on. Yeah. You've got, you know, the children, the appointments, you know, and the typical of every day, you know, with what you're doing at home, and, you know, you're home, you're working. How do you do it all? How do you balance that?
That's the $1 million question. And I haven't got a clue.
I love it.
It is an ongoing journey, isn't it? And we both come from big families. So when you come from a big family, you tend to have a big extended family. So
right.
So for me, it's you know, it's a one day at a time thing. Don't try to go too far into the future about tomorrow's to-dos and the next week's, and oh my God, how are we going to get ready for July in December? Right. You know, you just take it in, and also really, really letting go of perfection. I would love to have a perfectly zen, balanced, harmony house, and I have spaces that are, but for the most part, my daughter and her young grandson moved, her son, my grandson, who's 14 and a half months, moved back in March. And he's a very, you know, he's big energy. He loves everything. So a conversation at our house might be, has anyone seen the spatula? Well, look under the couch. Or where's the measuring cup? Try the tub toys. And it's like, yeah, usually that's where it is. So, you know, I had to really let go of, because we were all, you know, getting influenced by these decluttering things, and Marie Kondo's a space for everything and everything in its place. And then, wow.
I know.
Not everything's quite in its place anymore.
No.
It's okay. It's not important. I think it's that energy of don't sweat the small stuff, right? And it's all small stuff.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Because I know same thing with us over here. Right. We just, we are at this moment, we are empty nesters, and it's at first, didn't really know how to accept that, and of course we had an October wedding, so that kept us really hopping and pretty busy. It's my house is not Zen, no. It's just like you said, there's a couple parts that might, but I have like if I turn my computer right now, and I don't care who knows, I could probably do it. I should do it. I have my whole dining room table is just, I'm a paper person, so I have to have things put on paper, and it's just full. But then we've got Christmas coming, so this all has to be gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're in my home. We remodeled the upstairs, and so I do have my office and I do have my studio, and I'm just like, well, I'm not going to go ahead and reclutter that all yet, but so it's always a work in progress. It truly is, especially with the kids and such too. And I wouldn't have it any other way though. I absolutely love it.
No, it's a different kind of Zen, isn't it? There can be Zen and chaos sometimes.
At the same time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, actually, that's what it's all about lately. And, it's not either or, not right or wrong or clean or dirty. It's like and.
I think what we're sharing here is so authentic. It's so down to earth. It's so what people need to hear. Because I think so many times when people get started in a business or they switch careers or whatever, they really don't know which way to go. And sometimes it could be just they get stuck and they just get paralyzed. Or if somebody would be like me, it's like I just grab more information. And then it's just like, okay, I know all this. Now what do I do? So not any farther ahead. So, I finally learned that now take some action too with everything. But I am just so grateful that you were able to take time out of your busy day to come on here. It was a pleasure having you. And I would love to stay in contact. We'll have to do that for sure, right?
Yes. Thank you, Lynn. And thank you for taking on this project and, committing and giving us a place to have a voice. I really appreciate it. And it's been a joy to speak to you. I can't believe how fast 30 minutes goes.
I know. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You take care now. Bye-bye. Blessings.
Thank you for tuning into the show. I hope this brought out your passions, ignited you, and inspired you to restart and reclaim your life. Please subscribe to my podcast and feel free to leave a rating and a review. Until the next episode of Seriously Uncork Yourself, you can check out more information at lynnkuhn.com. That's Lynn, L-Y-N-N, Kuhn, Kuhn.com. Be sure to tune in for my next episode. Sending you all peace and love until our next time together. Seriously Uncork Yourself.